So I meet someone and I have this deep emotional feelings for them. I'm so attracted to them. There's this deep-seated feeling that runs through my body, electric shock all over my body when I think about them. Am I in love? Am I infatuated? How do I know the difference? Okay, those are the things that we'll be looking at today on our weekly teaching session. And can infatuation grow into love? Okay, my name is Temitope Ima. I'm under the handle True Talk with Temitope, where we try to build happy and healthy relationships. Okay, so what is infatuation really? To me, infatuation is having a deep-seated emotional feeling for someone, depending on your love language. It might be that you're so mentally attracted to them. It might be that you're so physically attracted to them. Okay, your life revolves around this person. You're always thinking about them. You're always dreaming about them. You want to be with them all the time. You want to spend time with them. Okay, it's not so much about who they are, but what they do for you. Okay, how they make you feel. Okay, to me, that is what infatuation means. I have like 5 points here where I have listed the signs of infatuation. So do you want to know if you're infatuated? So follow me closely. Okay, so the first sign I have here is that infatuation usually typically happens at the initial stage of the relationship. There's so much emotions involved. You're so filled with so much physical feeling. There's this deep-seated emotion. You're always thinking about them. You're always ruminating. You're always daydreaming. Okay, it happens like that for some people. For some other people, it doesn't happen like that. Okay, they don't have those feelings until they get to talk to the person and know who the person really is. Okay, at that point in time, if you're infatuated, a lot of things about you that is important, should be important, will take the backstage. Okay, so your project might suffer, your deliverables would suffer, maybe your work might suffer because you're constantly daydreaming. You can't get them off your mind. Even when you're working, you're so distracted. That is a sign of infatuation. You are usually very, very possessive. They want to be on their own. No, you want to spend time with them all the time. Apart from that, you're constantly daydreaming. I mentioned that, constantly daydreaming about them. You don't give them any form of space at all because you are so into them. Okay, all right. Another thing is that you're constantly stalking them. Okay, you're on the social media page all the time. You are always calling them to find out how they are doing. You just called them 30 minutes ago. Oh, I just wanted to check up on you again. You know, I'm not saying that it's a bad thing to be infatuated, but you must know when to draw the line. Okay, you must be able to pull yourself back and ask yourself the right questions. That, am I not taking this thing too far? Okay, people get infatuated normally. Okay, but when does it become too much? It becomes too much when you start stalking them. It becomes too much when the whole of your life revolves around them and you can't do something else, okay, without thinking about them. Okay, so the question really is, can infatuation grow into love? Very possible, because at the infatuation stage, it's not so much about who they really are. You don't even care about the other person's likes, their dislikes, their strengths, their weaknesses, what makes them tick, what they abhor. You don't think about that. You're just concerned about how they make you feel. You want that feeling to go on forever and ever, but the relationship doesn't work that way. Okay, so when do you know, at what point do you know that this thing might graduate into a love relationship? Okay, so the answer is truly yes. Infatuation can develop into a love relationship, but at what point do you start knowing that it can develop into a love relationship? I have some points here and I'm going to take them one after the other. Okay, I'll try and wrap up this video in like 5-6 minutes. Okay, all right, so the first step is that, one, you take time to truly know the other person. Okay, it's not just so much about how you feel anymore. You're trying to understand their strengths, you're trying to understand their weaknesses, you're trying to understand what they like, you're trying to know so much about them, you know, so you're so concerned about them. Okay, it's not so much about yourself anymore, but you're beginning to be selfless instead of being selfish. That's step number one. You're moving into the phase of loving this person. Number two is that you understand them, and then you know their flaws, but you do not condone bad behavior. Okay, love does not condone bad behavior. It addresses the issue. Okay, it will try and look for a solution to the issue. It will say, okay, and that's who you are. For example, if you're doing something really, really bad, it say that's who you are and I take you like that. It will try and look for a solution around the issue, so you understand their flaws and you're willing to accept those flaws or cope with those flaws. At this point, sometimes some people understand these flaws and they tell themselves, hey, I can't live with these flaws, and that's where some relationship would end, or they need to have disagreements, and that's where some relationship would end. So that's point number 2. So the third point I have here is that you care sincerely about this person's future. So they tell you about their future plans, their vision, their goals, or the things that they want to achieve, and then you get to take it upon yourself to see how you can help them achieve those things. Okay, it doesn't really concern you at that point in time, because really, hey, you're just dating, right? And that's what they want to do in the future. But if you really love this person, you start to think about, okay, so what do you do? What are the steps that have you started planning? What are the steps you've taken? You try to help them to achieve their future plans. Then you begin to have some love relationship. You begin to have be in a love relationship with this other person. Okay, how can you know you are in love, or what can you know that infatuation is leading into love? Okay, you don't choke them up. You give them space. You give them time. Okay, you don't choke this other person. Remember, I recall I mentioned that when you're infatuated, you're always calling every 30 minutes or 1 hour. You know, you're always into this person. You're disturbing their life. And in the morning, you're calling them before you even say your prayers. You know, but right now you give them their own personal space, because you know that personal space is important in relationship. You don't choke them up. Okay, all right, allow them to have their me time, and your life does not necessarily revolve around them anymore. Okay, you can be your own person. You can own yourself, okay, without actually having to put your life on hold and depend on the other person totally. Okay, then another point I have here is that love corrects gently and would not condone bad behavior. Okay, because you're in love with someone does not mean that you should accept every single bad behavior. Okay, there are some things that maybe habits is different from bad behavior. Okay, there's some habits that they are used to that's different from someone is stealing, someone just lacks any moral uprightness. You know, that is different. Okay, so you must be able to separate, okay, this is an habit from this is a bad behavior. You don't condone, but you try to address the situation. Okay, and then you're willing to meet the person in the middle. Okay, you're willing to make some sacrifices. Okay, you're willing to compromise and tolerate the other person's excesses. Okay, at that point in time, it's more than physical emotion. It's more than the electric running through your body. At this point in time, it's more about, okay, who is this person? Can I cope with this other person? Do I see this other person in my future? All right. And then one other point that I'm going to mention before I wrap up this video is that when you really love someone and you have the opportunity to not cheat them now, you have the opportunity to get at them, you would not take that opportunity. Let me give a typical example. Okay, so let's say you have this opportunity that would make your position better, but will make the position of the other person worse. Okay, because you are in love with that person, you would decline that opportunity. Okay, if the opportunity is going to make the other person worse, make that situation worse, you would not take the opportunity. Okay, that is actually considering the other person. That is actually putting the other person first and thinking about how your actions would impact the other person. Okay, so I've mentioned like 8 points here. Okay, and finally, when you are in love, it's not just about you anymore. It's about us. It's about both of us. Okay, and that's at that point when you're doing all of these things, you can tell yourself that I think I've made a choice. I've made a choice to love this person, because love really, at the end of the day, is a decision. Okay, but there's some things that will come across your way in your relationship that will make you want to give up. Okay, but if you made a decision that, okay, I'm going to stand by this person, then you would stay by your word. Okay, so I'll be able to identify the difference between infatuation and love. So really, infatuation is not love, but infatuation can grow into love. All right, thank you so much for listening. It took longer than expected. I appreciate you. God bless you, and see you on my social media page. Please share, like. All right, thank you.